Students don't care how much we know until they know how much we care, which is why my courageous conversation with educators focuses on attitude, but more specifically, the attitude of the instructor. One of the number one questions, or really the only question I ask educators when I sit down with them, is do you see yourself as the number one determinant of his or her success or failure? Do you see yourself as the number one determinant of his or her success or failure? And see, I start with that question, and I ask that question because oftentimes in education, what you have is what I call a diffusion of responsibility. A diffusion of responsibility is simply the belief that someone else is going to do it. Oh, Chris is pretty awesome with the kids. He can relate to them. They seem to gravitate towards him. Chris will do it. Or just about every kid that's enrolled into GRCC is assigned a counselor. I'm sure their assigned counselor would do it. Or we have advisors at GRCC, and their advisors will do it. Hey, I had a student that I referred to tutorial services. One of our awesome tutors will do it. There's always a diffusion of responsibility, which leads me to my next point. You can't teach them if you don't know them. You cannot teach them if you don't know them. Ask myself, what do I know about my African American and Latino students relative to meeting their classroom needs? Then I ask myself, what do I know about what keeps them inspired about learning and motivated to excel? Ask yourself, what do you know about their challenges, their distractions, their obstacles? That takes me to my next point, which is attitude toward the student learner. Do I believe in them? What do I see, or in this case, what do you see when you look at your students? That question is important because when you look at your students, do you see Ivy League? Do you see the university? Do you see a CEO, an entrepreneur, a best-selling author? Or do you see the cemetery? Or do you see prison? See, it's important to understand that what you see in your students is who they become. I'm gonna say that one more time, and I hope some of y'all is tweeting some of this stuff. What you see in your students is who they become. Students can't aspire for greatness if they've never been told about their greatness. Students cannot aspire for greatness if they have never been told about their greatness. Which leads me to my fourth point of a courageous conversation that I have with educators, which revolves around compassion for students. Do I know them? Do our students perceive that we care about them? Do our students perceive that we believe in them? I'm gonna tell you guys this, African American males represents the greatest challenge in education. Classes starts for many of you this coming week, and it is more than likely that you're gonna at least have at least one, if not a few, in your class. And so I'm gonna encourage you guys to be intentional about your interactions with your students. Be intentional about how you engage your students. Be intentional about the attitude you bring to the classroom. I'll leave it with this. I'm interested in working on a campus and living in a world, no matter what our races are, it does not determine the trajectory in life, in the classroom or in life.